Hi everyone, welcome to Next Gen AI with Sai YouTube channel. So today is a next part of our Langgraph series. So those who are watching this first time, let me explain you what we have covered till now, so that you will understand um, you will understand it better way. Okay, and if you miss any part, you can please go and watch the previous video. So as of now, we have understood how is the line graph is all about. We try to understand all the important components of the line graph. Then we build a design, simple chatbot, the workflow, I can say the workflow, where user can asking a questions to the chatbot, but in a workflow manner. So we have nodes, we have edges, and we are connecting all these components through this, and we are asking simple questions. Then we, in the second part, I have explained how one can add the tools to your chatbot using LangGraph. Okay, so when you are asking question, let's say the chatbot has not answer and they want some extra tools to get those answer. For example, the current news, right? The chatbot may not have the answer, so they can, we have added the tool that called as a Tabili search API. So through this API we are getting the current or recent news, and then chatbot is able to answer it. After that, in the third part, we have seen how we one can add the memory to the this kind of chatbot conversation, because there are multiple users are interacting and there might be some questions which are related to the previous conversation. So how one can have the kind of a persistence memory using some checkpointers, so that we have covered in the last video. So these are the basic thing. Now we are going to see how one can add the human in the loop kind of in the conversation. So when I say human in the loop, there might be a possibility that in your workflow you need some human intervention. Let me give an example. When you are doing the internet banking or any kind of support chat, let's say you are calling some kind of food app. Okay, you are asking some food, you are ordered something through food app. There are multiple food app, and you face some issue, or let's say there is a something called as a Amazon or the Flipkart kind of websites, you are facing some issues. So when you open the um, that chat box, you are try and asking some question, and there are few populated questions pop up. You ask, and there is a follow up questions. But sometime you feel that no, now these are the bot answers. I need some human uh, human expert who answers my query, because chatbot is unable to answer. So we require some human intervention in that case. So to overcome this issue, Langgraph has provided a functionality that you can add the human. So chatbot understand whether the person, the question asking, does it require a human or not, and based on that reasoning, human intervention will be there. Unless until human is not giving the input, this graph will not, or this workflow will not process. Okay, so let's see how we can implement using the Langgraph. Okay. So as usual, there are a couple of library that we require to install. So I have already installed few of the libraries just to save the time. Langgraph, Langchain, and the Langchain community. Then these are the couple of APIs we require. That is Grok. I'm using Grok platform to call use my LLM, and then heavily API key for the search capability. Now, some of the functions that we have written last time you may found similar. Okay, so let's use it again, common things, and then I can show you how one can add the uh, human in the loop things in this in the notebook. Okay, so again, now there are a couple of library. Let's libraries, I mean to say the functionality we need to use. We need an annotated chat grok, because that chat grok something that we are using. Then Tavily search API, then tools, type dictionary, then memory saver, because we again continue from the last, so we need a memory. Then state graph start end. Then we are going to add the messages tools node, because we require some tools to be added, and this is something the new line now we are adding in this to, in this video, that is something command and interrupt. Now these functions or these classes we require uh, to pass the human message. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, so we are going to run now this. Okay, now it's completed. Now the next block of code, which is something related to the state. Okay, so as you know that the state is one of the important component in the Langgraph. Okay, where it is storing all the messages. So we wanted to append all my recent messages into the messages, and then we are initiating the graph. So this is the two line of code that will initiate the graph. Now we want one tools to be added, that's a human assistance. So I am using this tool decorator, and I'm using this so we are having this human assistance function. In this human assistance function we are saying interrupt. So this interrupt we are taking from the langgraph.types, and we are asking a query. Now whatever the query is stored into the human response, and we are return the human response data on top of that. Okay, so I'll show you how one can store. So one can store the response into this data. Okay, now this is the human response. After that, so this one, now we have one tool that is called as a human assistance. Similarly, let's now we have the tool that is the Tabuli search result, keeping the result up to 2. Now we have two tools. One, this is a tool which is helping for to search the result, and we have the another tool that is the human assistant. So we are adding all these two tools into the tools list. Then we are calling LLM, and we want to bind this tool into the LLM.bind tools. Now let's execute that. After the execution, now we have these tools are ready. Now we need a node. Okay, so for that node functionality we are again creating function called as a chatbot. Now one thing is very important to keep in mind. In this line we are checking whether the message that we have received, whether that tool calling is available or not. If there is a tool call which is a greater than 1, okay, so we give the assertion error. Okay, because we want only the one tools to be used. We do not want the both the tools to be used, either the Tabuli search API or either the human assistance. So we want one anything happen at same time. So we wanted to check this thing. So because there might be a possibility of that, then we should raise the error. If there is nothing, then just we want to return the message. Now once this functionality is done, now we have the tools ready, we have the nodes ready. Now we wanted to connect everything. So first we want the add node. So node that we have developed, that is called as a chatbot. Now if someone is having issue what is node, what is edge, please watch up my previous video. I have already explained those concepts. Now we are adding the node of the function that we have built, that is chatbot. So graph builder add node. After that we wanted to add a nodes. So for that added tools as a node. So we are calling the function called as a tool node, where we are giving the list of tools, tool list, and then giving the name as a tool node. After this uh, tools we are combining in particular node, we just need to add this tool node as a node. Again the same functionality, that is add node. Now once done that, we need to add the conditional edges, because there is a two conditional edges, right? So this is the conditional edge function, where whenever there is a answer, that something needs to be happen, that chatbot, right? Either chatbot is giving answer or the condition will be. So it calls the tools and get the answer. If there is nothing, then the discussion will end. Okay, so this is a tools conditional edges. Now once done that, we wanted to add the edges. So there are two type of edges. One is the conditional edges, another is a normal edges. In conditional edges, it requires to check whether the tools to be called or not, or whether the another nodes to be called based on some certain condition. Then we are connecting the two node with the conditional edges. If there is a node decision has to be made, right, then we are only using the simple edge, that is something called as a add edge. Okay, so we are adding edge with the tools with the chatbot, and start with the chatbot. Don't worry, I'm going to show you graph so that you will understand it better. Okay, but similar code that what we have seen last time. one thing we forgot to mention, that is the memory saver. Okay, so please note that as we are adding memory to our this conversation, so we need to initiate, and this is the line of code to do this. Now let's visualize. There is nothing as such a difference as we already seen in the last video, that this is the code which will visualize. So as you can see, this is a start, this is a chatbot, and we are adding the conditional edges, right? Now you can see this is a tools, there is a chatbot to tools condition. So chatbot to, so whenever there is a conditional edges, the node always coming as a dotted. Okay, so we are adding the dotted and dotted, right? And then there is a add edge from tools to chatbot, and then start to chatbot. So these are the firm edges. There is a no decision. That's why the lines are dark. Okay, and here is a dotted line. Great. Now we done this. So now the thing is that as we have done this part, now let's move ahead to run the code. Okay. So let me take this user input to check. So for example, let's say this is a user input. What is the user is saying? That I need a expert guidance for building an AI. Could you request assist for me? And we are having this conversation with the thread ID as a one. And this is the way you to pass the message and get the answer, right? So these are the user input. This is the configuration, and this is the way to get the answer. Now what happened, as it's a require assistant, then it should call the human assistance in the tools call. Let's see what happened. Now you can see the human message is this, right? That this is what we are passing as an input, and then it is a tool call. Now what tool call is doing? Human assistance tool call is calling. It's not calling the Tabuli search, and he's saying that what is the query? I need an expert guidance for building a AI agent, right? Now as we are executing through this notebook, so that's why we're going cell by cell, but in the reality this will interrupted unless until user not is giving input, this workflow is not getting executed. Okay, now let's capture the human response and pass to the this thing, this workflow. So what is the response we have? We are experts here to help. We do recommend you to check the Langgraph to build your agent. It's much more reliable, extensible, and simple autonomous agent. So this is what human response. Now we are returning the human response as a human data. Now if you look at this way, we have configure this as a tool. We want the human response data. So whatever the response we are having, this is a dictionary, key and dictionary. So we are storing this human response as a like data and human response. So only the human return, and that has to be passed through the command. Okay, so command is a function to which we are passing this as a dictionary and the human command. Now again we invoke this graph stream, but make sure that your config should be same. If you are changing the thread id, this output will not get result. Okay, so please make sure that you are utilizing the same, otherwise if config is changed, then this will refer the something different message. Okay, so let's execute and see what will be the response. See, now this is a tool call, AI message, human assistance. I need a query, again human assistance, the tool name human assistance, and this is the response. And once the response is done, and this is the AI message, the experts are here assisted, they recommended you checking Langgraph. So this is a human assistance response. It again go to the chatbot and it refine the information. On top of that, the response that we have. Now you may question that, no Sai, it may be possible that you are calling only human assistance, right? So let's check something with the different question to verify whether it's really always calling human assistance or it also calling the Tabuli search. So I'm asking very general question, who has won the IPL match? I hope human assistance doesn't have answer, or your Tabuli search has that. So, and make sure that you are utilizing thread ID2 because it is something the different conversation. So let's execute and then see. Now the tool calling is happen is the Tabuli search result JSON, right? And you are getting the answer something like that. Yesterday IPL result match, it calling some URL, and definitely the chatbot takes this as an input and it gives the some refined answer on top of it. Okay, as it's a free version, so it may take some time. Okay, because it's calling over the API. Okay, now it's going to for event in events. If the message is event, So this block of code is getting executed. So what we understood, that now you understood how to use this human in the loop. So we have seen very preliminary example how human in the loop works, but I would definitely suggest use the Langgraph documentation, which has a in-depth understanding. Okay. Okay, so see the latest information of the search indicate that the Kolkata Rider has won the IPL 2024. Correct. So this is the way it's executed. I hope you understood how one can use the human in the loop using the Langgraph. So we cover this video very quickly because it's a small one, just to give the overview how one can use, but definitely go and plan, do as much as possible experimentation, and definitely in coming videos, once there are one or two more lectures are remain, once done that, we will see one end-to-end projects on the using Langgraph. Okay, so thank you so much. Keep watching and share with the others as well. Thank you.